Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J.K. Rowling. The night was silent, save for the rustle of leaves in Privet Drive. A cat sat perfectly still on the corner of the street, her amber eyes following every flicker of movement. She seemed ordinary, but there was nothing ordinary about this night. The world had just changed. From the darkness came a tall, thin man with a silver beard that shone in the dim light. His name was Albus Dumbledore. He drew from his robes a strange device, a small silver lighter, and with a soft click, the street lamps winked out one by one until darkness fell like a soft curtain. The cat leapt down, her form stretching and twisting until she became a woman. Professor McGonagall, stern and sharp-eyed, yet trembling slightly. "They're really gone, then?" she whispered. Dumbledore nodded, his expression shadowed with sorrow. "Lily and James are dead, but their boy lives." The wind caught his beard as if carrying the weight of those words. McGonagall's voice quivered. "Do you mean to leave him here? With these people?" She cast a withering glance toward number 4, Privet Drive, where the curtains fluttered faintly. The home of the Dursleys. "They're the only family he has left," Dumbledore said softly. "He will be famous, but it is far better that he grows up away from all that until he's ready." There was a faint rumble in the distance, the low purr of a flying motorcycle descending from the stars. Hagrid landed, massive and gentle, his eyes glistening. In his arms was a small bundle, asleep, unaware of the destiny he carried. "Good evening, Professor," Hagrid said, voice thick. "Little Harry fell asleep just as we were flying over Bristol." "No trouble at all." Dumbledore bent over the child. Beneath the lightning-shaped scar, Harry Potter stirred, dreaming the innocent dreams of a baby, unaware that his name would one day echo across the wizarding world. Dumbledore tucked a letter into the blankets. "Good luck, Harry Potter." They left him there, beneath the cold stars, on the doorstep of number 4 Privet Drive. And for 10 long years, that was where his story slept. The morning light of Little Whinging was always the same, gray, dull, and precisely normal. Inside number 4, Harry Potter lived in a cupboard under the stairs. He was small for his age, with messy black hair that refused to lie flat and round glasses that barely fit his face. His cousin Dudley, pink and spoiled, stomped about the house like he owned the sun. "Up! Get up! Wake up, you!" Aunt Petunia's shrill voice pierced the tiny cupboard. Harry blinked, brushing cobwebs from his hair. Another day of Dudley's tantrums and chores, another day of pretending he didn't exist. But on his 11th birthday, something strange began to happen. Letters started arriving. Thick envelopes sealed with a crimson crest, a lion, an eagle, a badger, and a serpent entwined around a great letter, H. Uncle Vernon burned the first letter. He tore up the second, but the letters kept coming. Through the mail slot, under the door, even down the chimney. Vernon Dursley grew desperate. One night, in a frenzy of fear, he packed the family into a car and drove for hours, fleeing the storm of letters. They ended up on a lonely rock in the sea, trapped in a shack as the wind howled and the waves crashed. At midnight, there was a thunderous bang on the door. The door burst open. A giant stood framed in the storm, holding a pink umbrella and a steaming birthday cake. "Harry Potter!" he boomed. "Happy birthday!" Harry stared. "Who are you?" Rubeus Hagrid, keeper of keys and grounds at Hogwarts, and I've come to tell you, you're a wizard." The world tilted. Harry blinked, his voice a whisper. "I'm a what?" Hagrid laughed, deep and kind. "A wizard, of course. And a thumpin' good one, I'd wager, once you've been trained up." From that moment, Harry's life changed forever. They traveled together to London, where the walls between the magical and the ordinary blurred. Hagrid led him through a brick wall in the back of the leaky cauldron, the bricks folding open like a secret door. Beyond lay Diagon Alley, a street alive with wonder, cauldrons, owls, spellbooks, robes, and a sense of magic so thick you could almost taste it. "This is where you'll get your school things," Hagrid said, puffing with pride. They entered Gringotts Bank, where goblins scurried with ledgers and keys. In a deep underground vault, Harry saw for the first time the gold his parents had left him, piles of coins glinting in torchlight. Hagrid winked. "Safe as dragon's treasure, that is." At Ollivander's, an ancient wand-maker measured Harry's every limb, muttering to himself. After several failed attempts, one wand responded, a holly wand with a phoenix feather core. The air hummed as Harry lifted it. "Curious," Mr. Ollivander murmured. "Very curious. The phoenix whose feather resides in your wand gave one other feather. It is curious indeed that you should be destined for this wand when its brother gave you that scar." Harry felt a chill. Who had the other wand? Ollivander's eyes gleamed. He who must not be named. The name hung in the air like a shadow. On the 1st of September at King's Cross Station, Harry stood bewildered, staring at the ticket in his hand. Platform 9 3/4. There was no such thing, until a red-haired woman guided her children toward the barrier between platforms 9 and 10. "All you have to do is walk straight at it," she said kindly. "Best do it at a bit of a run if you're nervous." Heart-pounding, Harry ran, and the world shimmered. He burst onto platform 9 3/4, where the scarlet Hogwarts Express waited, steam billowing into the sky. Aboard the train, Harry met Ron Weasley, freckled and friendly, who shared his sandwiches and his laughter. Later, a bossy girl with bushy hair poked her head in, Hermione Granger, lecturing them both about spellbooks and wand movements. Outside the window, the countryside rolled by until night fell, and the train curved around a black lake reflecting 1,000 stars. Boats carried them across the water toward a castle that rose in the distance, towers reaching for the heavens, windows glowing with golden light. Hogwarts. Inside, the great hall glimmered with floating candles and 4 long tables filled with excited students. The ceiling shimmered like the night sky itself. Professor McGonagall stood with a parchment in hand and a small battered hat beside her. "The Sorting Hat will decide your houses," she said. One by one, students stepped forward. The hat sang. It whispered. It judged. When it was Harry's turn, he sat trembling. The hat slipped over his eyes, a voice murmuring in his mind. "Difficult. Very difficult. Plenty of courage, I see. Not a bad mind either. And a thirst to prove yourself. But where to put you?" "Not Slytherin," Harry whispered fiercely. "Not Slytherin." The hat chuckled. "Not Slytherin, eh? Well, if you're sure, better be Gryffindor." The table erupted in cheers, and for the first time in his life, Harry felt like he belonged. Days turned into weeks. Hogwarts was a labyrinth of staircases that moved, portraits that talked, and mysteries that whispered in the shadows. Harry learned to fly on a broomstick, much to the horror of Professor McGonagall, who, instead of scolding him, made him the youngest seeker in a century for the Gryffindor Quidditch team. He and Ron became inseparable, while Hermione, though bossy, soon proved herself brilliant, especially after she saved them from a rampaging troll on Halloween night. That night, as they panted in the bathroom rubble, something shifted between them. "Thanks for that," Ron said sheepishly. Hermione smiled faintly. "You're welcome." From that moment, they were friends. But strange things were happening in the castle. A forbidden corridor guarded by a monstrous three-headed dog. Whispers of a mysterious stone hidden within the school, and teachers exchanging glances when they thought no one was looking. One night, Harry found himself sneaking under his new cloak, one that rendered him invisible. It had arrived anonymously on Christmas morning with a note. "Use it well." Beneath the cloak, he wandered the halls, unseen. In a forgotten room, he found an ornate mirror, tall and gilded, its glass shimmering like water. When Harry looked into it, he saw not just himself, but his parents, smiling, alive, reaching toward him. His heart ached as he pressed his hand against the cold surface. "Mom? Dad?" Night after night he returned, desperate to see them again, until Dumbledore appeared quietly behind him. "It does not do to dwell on dreams, Harry, and forget to live," the old wizard said gently. "This mirror shows us not truth, but our heart's deepest desire. The happiest man on earth would look into it and see only himself, exactly as he is." Harry swallowed hard. "What does it show you, sir?" Dumbledore smiled faintly. "That is between me and the mirror." As spring approached, the mystery of the hidden object deepened. Hermione pieced together clues. The three-headed dog, Fluffy, guarded a trap door. Beneath that door, something powerful was hidden. The Philosopher's Stone, capable of granting immortality. And someone was trying to steal it. Harry's scar burned whenever Professor Snape looked at him. But Dumbledore insisted Snape was loyal. Then, one night, when Dumbledore was called away from the castle, Harry knew it was time. He, Ron, and Hermione slipped out under the invisibility cloak, their hearts pounding, past the slumbering Fluffy, down the trapdoor, into a world of deadly enchantments. The first challenge, a mass of writhing devil's snare. "Stop moving!" Hermione cried. "It likes the dark! Light a fire!" With trembling hands, she conjured blue flames, and the plant recoiled, releasing them. Next, a room of winged keys, hundreds of them darting like living knives. Harry spotted one with a bent wing, the same shape as the lock ahead. He leapt onto a broom, darting and weaving until he caught it, slamming it into the lock. Then a life-sized chessboard of stone. Ron studied it, eyes narrowing. "It's wizard's chess. We have to play our way across." He mounted a knight's horse, commanding the pieces with courage beyond his years. Stone crashed against stone as the game raged until finally Ron sacrificed himself so Harry and Hermione could move on. "Go! You have to finish it!" he shouted just before his piece was struck down. Harry and Hermione ran forward. The final room shimmered with violet light. A logic puzzle of potions barred the way. Hermione's domain. "This one lets you go forward," she said, determination in her voice. "Drink it, Harry. You're the one who has to face him." "Go back for Ron," he said quietly. "You've done enough." Hermione's eyes shone. "Be careful." Harry stepped through the flames into the last chamber, and there he didn't find Snape. He found Professor Quirrell. "You?" Harry gasped. Quirrell smiled coldly. "Yes, I wondered whether I'd be meeting you here." The air shimmered with dark magic. "He is with me," Quirrell whispered. "He is always with me." A voice, high and cruel, echoed from beneath his turban. "Use the boy," it hissed. Quirrell removed his turban. On the back of his head, a face stared out, pale, noseless, and serpentine. "Harry Potter," hissed Lord Voldemort, "see what I have become. Mere shadow and vapor, but I can live again, if I can possess the stone." Harry's heart pounded. The stone was in his pocket. How, he didn't know. It had appeared when he looked into the mirror of Erist, wishing only to protect it, not to use it. "Give it to me," Voldemort whispered. "You see what your mercy cost your parents. Don't be a fool." Harry shook his head. "Never!" Quirrell lunged. The moment his hands touched Harry, he screamed. His skin blistered and burned as though seared by fire. Harry grabbed his face, his arms. The pain intensified until everything went white. When Harry awoke, the sunlight streamed through the hospital wing. Dumbledore sat by his bed, smiling. "Good afternoon, Harry," he said. "What happened?" Harry murmured. "You defeated Quirrell," Dumbledore said. "Love, Harry, that power which Voldemort knows not. Your mother's sacrifice left a mark on you, not a scar visible to the eye, but one deep within your very skin. Quirrell could not touch you without pain." "The stone?" "Destroyed," Dumbledore said softly. "Nicholas Flamel agreed it was for the best." Harry frowned. "But Voldemort?" "He will return," Dumbledore admitted. "Not soon, perhaps. But some evil cannot die so easily. And when he does, I believe you will be ready." The old wizard's eyes twinkled. "Now, I dare say you've earned yourself a bit of feast. And some points for bravery." At the end-of-year banquet, Gryffindor sat in gloom. Slytherin had won the House Cup. Again. Until Dumbledore stood, clearing his throat. "For recent events," he said, "I feel it only right to award a few last-minute points. To Ron Weasley, for the best-played game of chess Hogwarts has seen in many years, 50 points. To Hermione Granger, for cool logic in the face of fire, 50 points. And to Harry Potter, for pure nerve and outstanding courage, 60 points. Gasps filled the hall. The banners shimmered red and gold. Gryffindor had won. Cheers shook the rafters. Candles trembled in their flames. And for the first time in his life, Harry felt not forgotten or unloved, but celebrated. On the platform back to London, Hagrid stood waving a giant hand. "Don't you go forgetting us now," he said. Harry smiled. "Forget you? Not likely." As the train pulled away, he looked out the window at the castle glowing in the distance, the place that had given him friends, a family, and a reason to believe in himself. "I'm not going home," he thought. "Not really." The whistle echoed through the summer sky, fading into the warmth of tomorrow. And the boy who lived had only just begun to live.